Hello and welcome back to Database Management Systems. And I'm going to continue in this video with SQL that I started in the previous video. And this was the table that we used in the previous video. This is the table. It contains two columns, item and price. And now I'm going to continue to use this same table and show you some more DDL and DML queries. So the first one that we're going to see here is the alter table query. Let me just show you the schema of my table. My table looks like this. Item is a variable character 25, price is a number 5, 2. Now, like I said, 5, 2 means before decimal there can be 3 and after decimal there are 2. But suppose I want to insert something into my table. So insert into restaurant values, and I want to insert another item, let's call it some type of a combo, for which the price is 1000. And now let's put a semicolon. It will give you an error, and it says the error is value larger than specified precision allowed for this column. The reason for this error is that the price column is having a data type number 5, 2. So before decimal, maximum 3 digits are allowed, but I'm trying to insert 4. So that is why there's an error. So at this point, I would have to change the schema of my table in order to be able to fit this value. So to change the schema in the sense I just want to change the size of this column and maybe increase it so that I can include more values. To do that, you need to write the query alter table, and then you will write the name of the table, which is restaurant, alter table restaurant, and then you will write down modify. And after doing modify in bracket, you will mention what you want to modify. So I want to modify the price. So I'll mention price. And next to it, I'll type its new data type. Data type is same, but the new size. So let's say this time I want to make the size 7, 2. And then I can close the bracket and semicolon to run the query. And it says table altered. Let us take a look at the schema of the table now. You can see here that number is 7, 2 here. So the size has actually changed. And now if I try to insert the same values I inserted earlier, so let me get that query by pressing up arrow key. I'm trying to insert the same thing, and this time it works. We can also check out whether it actually got inserted or not by typing select star from restaurant. And you can see right here it is inserted. So this is how the alter table query works in SQL. But now I'm going to show you a different version of alter table query where you want to add a new column. So right now I only have the columns item and price in my table, but I want to add another column, say quantity, in my table. So in this case, you need to write down something like this, alter table, and now you will write name of the table as just like before, and then you'll write add instead of modify. And after writing add, you'll just type the name of the column that you want to add. I want to add quantity. So quantity, and this time I want to give it a number 3 size. So this is it. And then I'll put a semicolon and hit enter. And once again, it says table altered. Now, when you check your table's schema, you'll be able to see this extra column added, quantity number 3. If you take a look at the values inside the table by writing select star from restaurant, you'll be able to see all the values present in the table and this extra column that is added. But you can see that this column is practically null. It does not have any values inside. And this is because we created it just now. It's not going to magically fetch values inside. So it's always better to decide what your schema would look like beforehand in order to add a column afterwards. Because the problem here is now when I insert a new row, one thing you cannot start inserting into quantity directly. I've seen some people do this way, insert into restaurant and then just writing here quantity and then typing values and just inserting the value directly, thinking that that's going to start inserting from the first row. When you run it, it does say one row created, but when you check what is there in the table, you'll notice that it's not actually added with pasta, it is added in the new line right here. It's added in a new row because the table's always going to insert from the next row. It's not going to insert from the first row just because you added a new column. So that's why if you want to change these things, you'd have to type some other query in order to add a quantity here. And of course, you're going to learn that query, which is the update query later on. But that means you would have to write a query for each and every row. And that's not very efficient. That's why I said that you should be very careful about the schema and decide beforehand what kinds of things you require instead of deciding it afterward. So here, this is the quantity column added. And now I'm going to show you the update query, like I said. So my table contains all these rows, and let's say that I want to increase the prices of everything. Wherever the prices are there, wherever the prices are below 1,000, I want to increase the price by, say, 50 rupees everywhere, but not where it is 1,000 because that's already very costly. So I just want to increase the prices everywhere where the price is less than 1,000. So in that case, I can write the update query in this manner. I'll write down update, name of the table, and then write the keyword set. After set, you will mention the column that you want to update. So I want to update the column here that is price. So I'll write down price equal to, this is where you will mention the new price. Now the new price is nothing but 50 added to the price. So 50 is added to the price. Now I don't want this to be done everywhere. If I just finish the query here, this will add 50 everywhere. But I want this added only where the price is less than 1,000. So here you can write your where statement and say where price is less than 1,000 and put a semicolon and run. And here it says 4 rows are updated because there are 4 values with prices less than 1,000. Let's take a look at the table. You can see in the table everywhere price is updated. Here it is updated, here it's updated, everywhere it's updated except this 1,000 combo that we had. So that's how you can use the update query. The next query that I'm going to talk about is the delete query that allows you to delete some rows from your table. So let's say that I don't really like this row where the item and price are null. When you can't see anything, that means it's a null value. So I don't like this row and I want to remove it. Then I'm going to write a delete query, delete from restaurant. And here you'll mention the condition for deletion. Which rows do you want to delete? So I want to delete the rows where item is null. So whenever you want to write null, you never write item equal to null. You have to write item is null. And you write null in words, it's in words as a string. And then press semicolon, and it will say one row deleted. Let's take a look at the table. You can see that that extra row which was there is gone. So you can mention whatever condition you like in this position, not necessarily where item is null. You can write where item equal to rice, then it will delete the row containing rice. Or you can write where rice is greater than 400, then it's going to delete the combo. So it depends on what your need is. Based on that, you are going to delete from the table. So that's the delete query. Now the next query that I'm going to show you is the create table as select query. Now let's say that I want to create another table for another restaurant that also I own, and what I don't want to create everything from scratch. I know that my restaurant previous one already has this type of a table, so I just want to copy from there. Then I can do it like this. I can write create table and give a name to the table, and let's say that I just want to name it restaurant 2, because if you give the same name, you're going to get an error. In SQL, table names are all unique. So create table restaurant 2. Now, after this, I'm going to write as select star from restaurant. So what this does is whatever table I already have in a restaurant is going to be copied into restaurant 2. And I don't have to worry about creating the schema and inserting values into it because they will already be there. So once it says table created, you can check it out. So I'm going to check the schema by writing describe restaurant 2. And you can see it has the same schema as the other table, as the restaurant table. And let's see what values are inside. So select star from restaurant 2. And you can see it also contains all the values that you wanted from that original table. Now, this is how you can create a table from an existing table. That way you don't have to worry about inserting data into it, or you don't have to worry about even creating the schema, the data types and column names and all. So that's the create table as select query, which is another data definition language query. And now we are going to see a query that allows you to delete all the data from your table. So let's say that in restaurant 2, I don't really want all this data. I want only the schema, I want the design, I want the columns and data types, but I don't want the data. Then I can remove the data by writing truncate table restaurant 2. And it will say table truncated. So this means all the data from the table is now gone. And if I try to view it by writing select star from restaurant 2, you'll notice it says no rows selected because there are no rows present. Now there's another thing that you can do, which is to remove the table itself. So right now the table restaurant 2 still exists and I can insert data into it if I like. There's no data, but I can insert data. But if I want this table itself to be gone from my system, then I can write down drop table restaurant too. And when it says drop table, you can try to select data from it again, and you will see that it says table or view does not exist. This is because you have dropped the table and the table is permanently deleted from your system. So this is how you can perform data definition language queries and data manipulation language queries in SQL. So I hope you understood everything for these two, and I'll bring you more SQL queries in the next video. So see you there, and thank you for watching.